Hey YouTube, it is Wes. I hope you guys are doing awesome today. And look at this. I am back in the studio, which is awesome. It means my vacation, or at least what little of a vacation I had, is now over. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a cybersecurity practitioner by trade, and there was a huge seismic cyber event. Take a look at it right here. Man, this just ate up everybody. Me and my team were just completely eaten up with this. Wild, wild week. Didn't get a ton of vacation, but I'm back. And it's so good to be back again. Let me tell you what, I can't wait to dive into today's video, which is all about Pi. So I think a lot of people for a really long time have said, oh, Pi is a scam, or at best, the whole thing is like just pseudo crypto. There's nothing really to it. Well, look, for a while, I think you could fairly make that assessment. But you guys know on this channel, I've been pretty unbiased. I went from somebody that really truly believed that about Pi, but as I began to see the journey, I thought, there's something under the hood here. Like, this thing is really going somewhere. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about what's happening in the Pi ecosystem. We're going to talk about the hackathon, and we're going to talk about what it means for just regular people like you and me that are trying to think through what the heck is the core team talking about, and does it make any difference at all? And the answer is it does make a difference. You're going to see some really cool things coming out of this. Curious? Want to know more? We're covering all of this and my thoughts coming right up. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. Wes Spencer here. If we've never met, I'm a cybersecurity nerd, as I mentioned, being eaten up with the events of last week. Holy cow. But I love crypto, and I love entrepreneurialism and creating your own wealth through independence. And man, let me tell you what. I just hit 50,000 subs like a week or two ago. Unbelievable. I never thought that would have happened. I started this channel to talk about the things that I love, and to have so many of you connect with me over that means the world. Because look, I'm not a moon pumper. I'm not going to start telling you videos like, hey, this crypto is going to make you a billionaire in, the next week, like so many of these crypto pumpers do, or at least a millionaire like next, how to be a millionaire in 2022. Now, we don't do that. The truth is, no YouTuber really knows what they're talking about when it comes to a lot of like the financial speculation side of crypto, and I'm not going to even try to do that myself. I'm going to stick to the projects that interest me, that I think have a lot of trajectory based upon their technical capabilities, which I know you may be shocked that I cover so much about Pi because of that, but stay with me. There's some big things coming. Or just something that really captures me as a project that I think is innovative. That's really what we cover in this channel. So really appreciate you guys staying with me as we're going into all of this. Okay, so as we jump in, I'm going to share my screen out and I'm going to show you some things. But you probably saw on the front of the Pi app, like this whole, what's this hackathon thing about? And you probably were questioning like the cloud app stuff and like, why does that any of that matter? Maybe you were even brave enough to go watch Hugo's review of kind of creating a Pi app ecosystem, and you left thinking, I have no idea what this is about. It doesn't matter to me. It does matter to you. Some big things that are going to be possible with that I'm going to share as we jump into this. So let's just start here with this. The significance of the hackathon is really about the core team for the very first time, at least publicly, I'll say, kind of embracing the Pi developer community, or at least I should say this, the future Pi development community. Because as we know, Pi it's held by the core team. They're the ones that are building the platform. They're the ones that are creating it. It's based on Stellar itself, which is a very popular cryptocurrency. But for the longest time, the core team has been the ones that have been developing everything. It's been under wraps. It's been under the hood, so to speak. And you haven't been able to see what's happening with the platform, where it's going. Well, now everything has changed, because now they're allowing developers who have an idea for Pi that says, I could use the Pi system to, for example, build a payments platform, or to integrate with maybe my crypto project that does, I don't know, NFTs and trading for like gamer badges and things like that. And I want to use Pi as a payment ecosystem for it. Just some ideas. They're now saying, hey, if you're a developer, and you know what you're doing with this, we want to embrace you. We want to give you the opportunity to build inside the Pi ecosystem. And if you do that, and we curate and we like the content, we may take it and for free allow it to be used in the global Pi ecosystem. Why is that important? It's important because one thing Pi needs at launch date is the capability to not just say, hey, the blockchain is out and here's wallets and we're going into mainnet, but also what will really help its longevity and to prevent a huge sell-off is to have 3, 5, maybe 10 or more applications that are running with Pi in the background, that are using the Pi ecosystem to drive forward the economy. That's brilliant. And so that is what the announcement by the core team, Nick and team, is all about, is letting people know if you're a developer, you can get into this ecosystem and you can start developing your own platform that uses Pi. And if we like the direction that it's going, we'll incorporate it in and you'll have something awesome at release. That is really exciting. So what's all of that going to look like? Well, they talked a little bit about development networks and the actual live network, the production network. And the big difference is development it's a small ecosystem. It's where you're going to build for now if you want access. And if you do that, you can kind of get everything up and running. But they talk about the production network is running. They talked about Kubernetes. They talked about Docker, some things that if you're not technical, all you need to know about that is that's back-end infrastructure stuff that really allows code to be run at scale. You heard Nick from the core team mention millions and millions of users being able to run something, and them doing that for you for free for your application could be powerful. Because if you're going to create an application, you have potentially millions of users all coming in and using that, you need to have the scale and capability of something on the back end that will support it. Now, I know what I'm talking about here because I ran a company called Perch. Perch was a software as a service company in cybersecurity, and we dealt with those scale issues all the time. So I think that's exciting. That should be something that draws developers in to say, yeah, I'm going to build something as a proof of concept. I'm going to submit it to the core team. I want them to see it in the hopes that they'll take it and they'll make this available for everybody running on their infrastructure. That's really cool. So what's all this going to look like? Well, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen out. And I just want to show you a couple different things. This is from the core team's GitHub page. GitHub is where most developers use to build and serve their software repositories, where code is built and checked and developed and branched and all that kind of stuff. And so here's the front end SDK, and they mentioned this in one of the previous announcements. I just wanted to show this to you because here it is. Like, this is the actual technology. So this is how user authentication is done. This is some sample code that would work. And then here's the payment ecosystem where you could actually request a payment using the Pi platform itself, the entire blockchain. That's awesome. Stellar was built for this, which means that Pi is built for this. So you can see all of this here. And then here is the full payments documentation platform, which you click right here. You can see how all of this works. And again, the purpose of this is not to make a video that's going to lose most of you and be super confused about what it is. I just want to show you it's real. It's here. The meat of it exists. You can today begin to build your own platform using Pi Network as the background. So I think this answers very definitively if you've been wondering, like, hey, look, is this thing real? Is Pi just complete pseudo, like nothing vaporware? No, it's not. You can see right here, I can check this code in. I can begin to build my development platform out of it. I can do awesome stuff with it. It's exciting to me to see all of this in place. It's exciting for me to see, man, look at the capabilities of all of this that give the ability for us to have at release multiple applications that are using Pi. That's a big deal. That's a big deal for all of us. Now, let me kind of pause and say this. What might it look like? Right? Like I showed you a bunch of code and you're like, well, I don't know what that does. And I mean, I guess I get it. Like applications running on top of Pi, what could it do? What could it be like? Well, let me show you something. I'm going to show you, I just did some hunting of like some platforms that I've been looking for that I think could be an example of what I would build if I were building on top of Pi. And here's one right here. This is from Bakkt. Bakkt is a pretty interesting platform. It's all about they say manage your rewards with their digital wallet. It is that. It's definitely a digital wallet itself, but it integrates with Bitcoin and it gives you the capability of using their platform as an ecosystem middleware for multiple different outlets. And I'll show you kind of what that looks like in a second as we scroll down. So you may have multiple different, like loyalty rewards. Like let's say I shop at Starbucks a lot and I shop at, I don't know, somewhere I buy my clothes and all those things, right? I might want to use a crypto ecosystem to be able to store those rewards, to be able to earn those rewards and to use them in certain ways. All the loyalty stuff that builds up, the ability for me to maybe even have gift cards that are granted, whatever it may be. If I use something like Bakkt as an example, I'm going to need an undergirding technology layer like blockchain, specifically Pi network, to run underneath it to give me the capabilities of those things. So as I was looking at Bakkt, I was like, this is a great example of what I would build as a middleware. Why is Pi perfect for this? Well, Pi has millions and millions of users. Pi is extremely fast because it's built off of Stellar. It has the capabilities based on its consensus algorithm to be able to allow groups of trust and communities of trust, and almost like a decentralized version of Facebook as an example just of how it could be a platform that allows millions of users to interact together. When you have millions of users, you're going to attract business. Business is attracted to users. This is why you see many organizations want to get involved in the crypto world, is they see that's where the users are and they want to be involved in all of that. And so you could certainly see a day that comes by which all of these different companies say, hey, we have a reward system. We want to use the Pi network specifically for it because we love one of the applications that a developer built. Just call it Pi Rewards as an example. That would be a perfect ecosystem and middleware for that, where users right from their phone can store their loyalty rewards and earn them and redeem them in store or digitally whenever they may wish, or buy a gift card for somebody and be able to send it. And underneath all of it is Pi. That's an example of what could happen with what's being built, which is really exciting. And so I think this bodes well. It answers the question, is there technology underneath this? Yes, there is. And I'm very excited to see what the core team brings together in terms of some of their favorite projects. And core team, if you're listening to me, which I know you are, I think you should involve people like me and others in the community to help take a peek at some of the projects that are being built and submitted into the Pi development team for hosting, just so you can get the community to be involved and get in excitement and get input from all the rest of the world around us to say, what are some of those winning early apps that are being developed that will release at mainnet for everybody? I want to know from you guys. What do you think? What do you think about what's happening right now, the technology that's being built behind this? What kind of Pi applications would you like to see? And even more exciting, are you building one? I'd love to know what it is and what your plans are for it. All right, guys, thank you so much.